Hello and welcome to the next episode of the Lisa Pezik Show. Today I have my good old hubby with me here, Eric, because we were honestly having a beverage last night on our half-done, almost new deck. Our backyard's in a big renovation that we're excited about, and it was a beautiful night. So we were like, let's go out, have a beverage. And we always say that we're going to talk about personal stuff and connect, and we do, but business always seems to come up. And I don't know why when on that new deck, it's like we have all these moments of reflection of what's been going on in the past week, or kind of the pulse of business and what we've been noticing. And a huge topic that we talked about last night was how much we've had to hustle to build trust with our clients so that they know that we're going to do what we say that we're going to do. And it sounds so silly to say that, because you're probably thinking in your head, well, yes, most people, if they are a person of integrity, business or not related in business, they do what they say they're going to do. But we're finding that's not always the case. And especially in the online space, I think a lot of people lie, to be honest, about how many clients they're serving and how much money they're making. And Facebook is not real life, I don't believe. Like, I believe that everybody embellishes and everybody wants to sound like they've got it all together and they're the perfect solution for everyone. And that's not always the case. There are people that come to us that want our help, and we say, no, thank you, because we know it's not going to work out, or it's not going to be a right fit, or we simply just don't do to that high level of excellence what they want us to do, because it's just not in our wheelhouse. But a lot of people don't do that. They say, yes, I can help you when we're talking about what we do. I can help you with branding. I can help you with copy. I can help you with design. I can help you with your website. I can build you a website. We see actually a lot of couplepreneurs that claim to do what we do. And it was a big aha for us that we don't tell the story enough about exactly what we do. And that's why it takes so much time to build trust with people, because maybe they don't know, or they've been burned by investing in somebody else who didn't follow through and do what they said they were going to do. And it's hard once you say yes to someone. Well, I may be assuming, but what we hear from a lot of people is that once they say yes and they're in a contract, they don't want to have that conflict discussion to back out. Like, they're not happy with the services they're getting, but they're afraid to back out. And Eric, I know you had a situation where this happened with a client that's going to start working with us. Tell the story about, or, fill the listeners in about what happened with that. I think it was Yellow Pages, right?
Yeah.
Not to name names, but.
Yeah. Well, so the client was already working with us. So they have two businesses, and the one business that we started working with them on was a college. So they have a college upstairs or downstairs, and then they have a practice upstairs where they actually serve clients. So we started working with them for the college and got them amazing results. It was like within 3 to 6 months. And we built that trust with them.
What do you mean got them amazing results?
So the school, when we started working with them, they've been around for 15 years. They historically have never sold out their registration or had their registration full within less or more than 2 months in advance. So meaning, let's say class started in September. So by July, they were lucky to be fully registered. And that was with them pushing hard to register. Yeah. So then when we started with them, within the first 2 months of going live, launch, with everything we did, we redid all their website, started doing lead generation, search engine optimization, took over their social media, started doing social for them. And within the first month, we built what's called like a lead magnet. And that's one of the things we do. And it was really simple, wasn't complex. It was literally just a matter of taking some of the educational like information and packaging it into what like you would give to a student, like a student brochure. So we put that on the website as a way to capture the leads for these people so that they can follow up and gain interest if they were actually interested in becoming students.
Did they ask you to build a lead magnet, or you just said, this is what we're doing?
They did not ask us, and it wasn't part of what we offered to do for them, but we just did it.
Yeah.
Because we saw that it was like they said they had something like that,
but it wasn't.
But then
good.
when we looked at it, it was like, no, this is like a contact form.
Yeah. So basically, you made them more visible.
Yes.
People knew more about them,
yes.
and you had easy ways that people could access information from them and learn more about them.
Correct.
Okay. Then what happened?
So the first month we launched that with Lead Magnet, there was 3 of them. We got them 300 new leads that first month. And then, yeah, you want to say something?
Yep.
Okay.
So we get the point.
Okay.
We got it. We're good.
Okay.
You did a good job.
Okay.
So what happened with the other provider?
So with the other, so it's been about a year. They wanted us to come in and look at what they were doing for the practice. Because they said, wow, you know, we've got amazing results, but our practice is lacking. We're in contract with Yellow Pages. I'll call them YP. We're in contract with Yellow Pages.
Said company.
And it's going to renew. They said, but we want you to come in and look at what we're getting with our contract and see if there's something you guys can do with what you're doing similar to with the school. So anyway, long story short, we came in, looked at what they were doing and went, oh boy, do you realize that with what you're getting with Yellow Pages, they have no point of conversion here. And
so for the people that don't know what a point of conversion is, what does that mean?
So point of conversion is like with the lead magnet we set up, they know that somebody comes into the website and puts in their information and downloads that PDF or whatever it is, the lead magnet, that's a conversion point, which means you now have a lead that you can convert into a sale or convert into a client or convert into whatever it is for you.
Yeah.
So with Yellow Pages, when they were working with YP, they had nothing. So, but they were spending a lot of money. Like I'm talking like 100,000 a year kind of money. And
they'd been with them for how long?
5 years.
And did not get a single like
conversion
person.
Yeah.
From that.
So that was the biggest problem. Was I said to the owner's wife, I said, you realize that here, like they were showing me, she's like, oh, look, you know, but we have reports on everything that we're doing. Look at these fancy schmancy reports and, oh, they look so nice. And then I'm like, look at this column. It says conversions. Look, for the past 5 years, it's always been 0.
And she just didn't know probably.
And she knew, but every time she would ask them, she would say, why is this always 0? They would say, because we can't set up a true conversion. And I sat down with her for 15 minutes and I said, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
I said, that sounds like an excuse to me. I can set up a conversion probably for you in 15 minutes. All you need to do is be able to say, if you're interested in what we do, put in your information and we'll get in touch. That's conversion.
Now I will say that I would believe that Yellow Pages does probably work for some businesses. Maybe.
Yeah, like, I'm sure they have good case studies.
Like,
absolutely.
No, this is not to say that one business or one platform or one provider is better than another. I think it's like you have to look at what you're investing in and what the results are. And you've got to stay on top of that and know what your targets are. So I'm going to stop for 1 second because Eric and I mapped out 5 steps that you should go through before you say yes to any provider. And these are the things you should be looking at, like, I don't know, weekly, monthly, to make sure you're staying on, because you as the business owner are in charge of staying on top of this. You can't blame and say, oh, well, that's Yellow Pages' fault, or, oh, that's your fault, or like you as the business owner, it falls on you. So the 5 quick steps are, and we'll break them down, set expectations. Make sure you know your clear deliverables, have clear timelines, have some flexibility because there are going to be unexpected bumps in the road, unexpected things that come up when you're testing and tweaking and trying. And lastly, have a realistic budget, because I can't believe, or we can't believe, how many people want the sun, the moon, and stars. And we're like, what's your budget? And they're like, oh, we don't have one. Like, you would never be like, I want to have this beautiful backyard deck that we're building, and hot tub and fire pit, and contact the builder and contact the contractor and go, here's my beautiful plan. This is what I want. And they go, great. Do you have a budget? And we're like, no. Yeah, our budget's $500. Like, they're gonna be like, you're crazy, right? Oh, I want to drive a Tesla, but I have $1,000. Do you think we can make that work? Like, you have to have a realistic budget for what you want. And people don't budget for marketing. They don't budget for design. They don't budget for copy. They don't budget for Facebook ads. You must market your business or people will not find you. And people will say, they'll argue, and the objection, they'll say, well, I get word of mouth. I don't have to have a website or social media. People just find me. And my question to them is, yeah, well, are you going to be around 10 years from now? Because you're not staying with the times. And how much money are you leaving on the table? How much impact are you leaving on the table by not marketing yourself and only going with Jane and John and Sally who refer people to you? I mean, that does work, but I think about big impact, big income, big service. Those are the kinds of people that we want to work with. So I think that was kind of, when we break that down, what happened is maybe they didn't have clear expectations about what exactly they were looking for. Clear deliverables. They wanted conversions. They didn't get that. Clear timelines. By when? When do we expect to see this conversion by, right? Unexpected. What are some kind of like unexpected stuff that can come up in the design, copy, tech, ad process?
I think the biggest thing for like unexpected things is things change and evolve in your business. And like an example with that same client that came up was one of their college teachers was at a conference in the London, Ontario area. And she came back from the conference and went to the owner's wife and said, oh my God, at the conference, they were talking about this college who offers similar courses to what we do. And they actually turn down students every year because they get fill up to capacity. So they said, why are we not advertising in London, Ontario for the college that turns down students? So those are unexpected things. So then they came back to us and said, can we run an ad campaign targeting this area for students who are being rejected because they're up to capacity to come to our college instead?
Yeah.
So obviously, what did we do? We turned that on and said, absolutely, let's do it.
Yeah.
And it worked. We actually got a boatload of people interested from that area.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. And then realistic budget. I think it goes back to, Eric and I struggle sometimes with, we're not cheap. Like, just being frank and honest, like, we're not cheap. And it's because of the value that we deliver and the timeliness that we deliver it and the customer service. Like, we were just talking about that. Like, we have a pulse on our projects and our people daily. We literally do for you. We have a team of graphic designers, copywriters, web coders, Kajabi funnel coders, thank you scripts, sales video scripts, email automation, lead generation, branding. People say they do branding. People say they do copy. People say they do websites. We've taken on a lot of clients of people who, quote unquote, worked with people who said they did their website for them and there's no conversions, there's no lead magnet, there's no SEO on it, it's not responsive. Just saying, like, slap it up there and say you have it is not quality. And I think that's what a lot of people in our industry, that done for you is, everyone's now saying they do done for you because that's what most people want. They don't want to spend the time writing their own copy and figuring out how to code a website.
Learning.
Like, they don't want to spend the time learning because that's not where your time is best spent. But ask a lot of questions when people say we do it for you, right? Like, I could go to a client and be like, sure, shoot your sales video, shoot your course video, send them over to me and we'll get that over to design. Like, no, I'm giving them scripts to go on. I'm critiquing the way they deliver that. I'm making sure that that video is of excellence and quality You know, and when people wing it, when my clients wing it, our clients, I do more than copy. That's why I say me. But when they wing it and they send me crap, I'm like, no, you winged it. And it sounds winged and not well put together. Go back to the script. Follow. You can go off the script a little bit, but there needs to be a flow to the way this video goes. So when people say they do done for you service, I think you should ask a lot of questions and be wary of the strategy. Because a lot of people are charging a lot of money to do strategy, which strategy is great. We do strategy.
Yeah.
But what happens if you have the strategy and then you don't know how to implement? It's not going to get done, right? So I believe that a good provider has that next step for you. And that's what we do for our clients, that some of them say, I just want strategy. I'm not there yet to get into the build phase. But we say, yeah, let's do strategy. But then when it comes to build phase, we can help you with that. So we get a lot of people that spend tens to $20,000 to $30,000 on strategy. And then when it comes to actually building what they've talked about, that course or that program, then they're like, oh, I have no money to actually build it. Realistic budget. Well, you need both. Mm-hmm. You need strategy, but you need money to build and design, right?
Yeah, and a good team will do both.
100%, and that's what we do. So ask a lot of questions. You know, when people are saying they can help you, oh, I can help you do that. I can help you this. And teams, like our team, we spent a lot of time getting the proper team in place. A lot of people, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with hiring out to other countries. We've found some incredible people from other countries that we hire out to, but we've also had some really not so great people. I know, Eric, you did more of that kind of hustling to get those right developers and coders. And again, people will say, yeah, my team will take care of that. But again, timeline, right? Clear timeline. It's like, yeah, they need 6 months to do it. And we're like, whoa, right? Like, you got to work with the right people. So just ask a lot of questions, expectations, deliverables, timelines. Give yourself that flexibility. Ask about what could be some unexpected stuff that comes up, and have that realistic budget before you say yes to anybody that you decide to work with. And I think lastly, and then Eric, you can add your last kind of thoughts. My last thought is, if people aren't willing to talk about that with you, run. You know, like, if people aren't willing to, we always say we're going to be 15 minutes, and we're never 15 minutes. We're like an hour and a half with a lot of people, making sure that we're answering every question that they ask us. You know, if anyone's ever making you feel bad about asking questions, run, because we ask a ton of questions before we hire anyone to help us in our business or in our life. So if they're not open to answer your questions, no bueno.
Yeah.
No good. Last thoughts, Eric?
Just on the budgeting part, I think a lot of people struggle with budgeting because there's this fear mentality around numbers, around money, that people think, well, okay, but what if I have $50,000? I don't want to tell you that, which is the wrong answer, because what I think people need to realize is you need to think about the value of a client for you. That might be $100. That might be $10,000. And then work your budget from that number. So if you say you want to grow your business to $100,000 a year and each client is worth $1,000, then you know you have to serve that amount of people to reach the 100,000, right? Then you can realistically put together a budget and say, okay, if I know that each client is worth $1,000, what am I willing to invest? And go to that done for you agency, whoever it is, and say, listen, I have $100,000 hope and dream, and this is what I base that off of. So I'm willing to put in whatever that is, $20,000 to get there, and then figure that out. You know, and it might be a 2-year project. You know, we work with clients for years. Yeah. Where it's like year one, the budget might be 20,000, but then you hit that 100,000 goal. Make sure you reinvest some of that back into your marketing, so the next year you can grow to 200,000. That was, on budgeting.
I like it.
Okay.
See? I was quiet for a whole minute. All right. Hopefully we didn't blow your brain with all of that, but important stuff that you just need to know before you say yes, and important stuff in your business you just need to start thinking about. Sometimes you're so busy working in your business that you don't stop to think about these things. And then the moment strikes and you want to get something up and online, you get really excited about it, and you contact the first person you find. And sometimes you're sorry later that you didn't go through all these steps in this process. So we are happy to help you go through all this, answer your questions, work out a realistic budget for you, and tell you what you need and what you don't need. And you can find us at www.lisapezik.com. The site is getting, I'm so excited about, we're adding the Infinite Design House stuff, which is my hubby's kind of, I mean, we work together, but we have these little arms of business, and we didn't have any portfolio work on there. People are like, you build websites? Where? You build funnels? Where? You build courses? Where? And we're like, oh yeah, we should probably have it on a website somewhere. So Infinite Design House is getting on there. That's been hubby's pride and joy for, I don't know how many years, 15 years or so, longer. 19 years. God, you're old. And that's going to be on there, which is great. So check out the website. Happy to help you. At the bottom of every page, you can book a free 15-minute brainstorming session with us. And we hope to hear from you. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time on the Lisa Pezik Show.